hell of a win. Congratulations to everybody for clinching. Feel good about it, celebrate it, but at the end of the day, we also know what we want to do and what we want to accomplish. Keegan, hell of a job, young man. That's a fantastic. We want to give them a lot more than we've given them so far already because they're more than deserving of it. And, when you have a fan base that's as intelligent, rabid, passionate about not only their team but their city too. You can feel it's a prideful thing. You want the world for them, and you're excited about it. We want them to celebrate, but we also know that they expect more from us, and we expect to hopefully give them more.
The drought is over. The Kings, as we all knew, this day would be here, but it feels like it's been forever for Kings fans. The drought is over. The Kings are back in the playoffs. The drought is over. Vinny Goodwill is back. It's been forever since we saw our man Vinny Goodwill. Or at least it feels like forever since we saw you, Vinny Goodwill.
Since you saw him.
All right, so.
Since you saw him.
Since I saw him. That's right. Because Vinny's probably on the show more frequently than I am these days. Vin, the Sacramento Kings. Great story. How good of a team are they in the postseason? Let's get ahead of ourselves here, because I believe they have statistically the best offense in NBA history. They got a shoo-in for Coach of the Year. Why not Sacramento? Why does this have to just be a good story? Why can't they be a great postseason team as well? Or have they not taken the requisite steps that we have seen throughout NBA history?
I feel like because it's not a familiar story, at least not yet. You talk about the franchise not having made the playoffs in almost 20 years and then going all the way to the finals or whatever the expectation was. Even as much as Golden State came out of nowhere in 2015, we were able to see them in that first round series against the Clippers the year before, take the Spurs to 7 games or the 6 games 2 years prior to. So we were able to see a stair-step process. But to your question, I see a lot of teams saying that they want to line up to get on that 3-6 line. You mess around and get embarrassed, right? Because one thing in this NBA says that offense travels in the postseason in a way that it never used to before. The game does slow down a little bit, but when you talk about De'Aaron Fox, ain't no slowing him down. When we talk about Domantas Sabonis, ain't no slowing him down. Yeah, maybe Malik Monk and Keegan Murray and some of these other guys who haven't been through it before, maybe you'll have some questions about them. But you mess around and you think that you're gonna find you a real one in Sacramento, and you mess around and get yourself put out. And that's going to be embarrassing if that happens for a team.
F around and find out? That's basically what you're saying?
That's the F around line, the find out line, they converge at the beam. That's where they converge at.
Yeah. Hey, well, listen. Right now on that line, 3-6, we got a California series, but separated by 80, 90 miles, Sacramento and Golden State. So, does that stand for Golden State too? Y'all better watch out, because Sacramento might get you, because Golden State walk around like, yeah, we run this. Y'all all know we run this despite our record.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that for Golden State, because I feel like when they push the button, when they stop messing around, when they defend, when they play at that highest level of intensity, they're probably the most bankable thing that you can count on in the Western Conference. And to be perfectly honest, considering I'll probably be west for the early rounds of the playoffs, my mouth is watering for some Phoenix Golden State hash, right? And I don't want to go into the kitchen and not find no hash or just find a swallow.
You don't want to swallow orange
want
juice.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to swallow. I want Phoenix and Golden State at full of health as you can get. Hopefully Andrew Wiggins can be back. But if we're talking about drama and everything else, that's cool. Now, don't get me wrong. Anything from 4 to 6, you got the Clippers, you got the Warriors, you got Phoenix. Any one of those permutations that signs up in that 4 or 5 spot might be one of the best first-round series that we'll have in a very, very long time. And then the other team will have to face the 3 seed Sacramento Kings. So there ain't no winning either way, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, you know what? I want to get to Durant and the Suns momentarily. But speaking of defend, and this is the objective journalist that you are, but this is the first time I can remember following your work the way I do. It's not often that you defend Kyrie Irving. But in your latest work, you do just that against the accusations that the Mavs collapse is his fault. But before we get into your perspective on it, this is Kyrie Irving from last night, sounding like me, letting the profanity fly, but it's understandable. Here's Kyrie.
Just where we are in the season and where other teams are positioned already, it kind of looks like, a bit of a right now, to be honest with you, because we're, 37-40 and we're trying to fight to get into the play-in game, and it's not the expectations that I think any of us had in that locker room.
Well, I did not have Oklahoma City Thunder in the play-in tournament and Dallas on the outside looking in.
How about that hat, though? How about that hat, though, Mike and Vinny?
but
y'all like that?
Yeah, for sure. But it is a cluster. It is a cluster down there. What's the source? What's the root of the Mavs' problems? And are they solvable? And if so, how?
I mean,
for the long term. For the long term.
Yeah. And the thing is this: we love Mark Cuban as a figure, right? We because of what he represents, so to speak. So to speak, Mark Cuban was this young Maverick owner that came in and shook up the world, and he was vocal and he talked to the media and everything else. Mark Cuban is at the root of all of these problems. If you're asking me, if you're talking about 20 plus years of ownership, yeah, they've had the one championship with Dirk Nowitzki, but Dirk Nowitzki was doing a lot of carrying for some really mediocre Dallas Mavericks team. He had one all-star teammate after Steve Nash left in 2004. That was Josh Howard in 2007 when his team won 67 games, and of course they got put up by Golden State in that 1-8. But when you look at the Porzingis trade, when you look at Dirk Nowitzki not having a lot of help, when you look at Luka Doncic not having a lot of help, the common denominator is not a Jason Kidd, it's not a Nico Harrison who just got there over a year ago. It's easy to blame Kyrie Irving because, where Kyrie shows up, a fire starts. And then all of a sudden you're thinking that Kyrie Irving is holding the kerosene. And usually he is, except in this case. And the thing was, when you traded for Kyrie Irving, you knew that you were giving up a lot of your defensive identity that helped you get to the Western Conference Finals last year. And you knew that Kyrie Irving was no type of defender, no type of stopper. You knew Kyrie was going to come in and get buckets. And that's exactly what he's done because he's trying to get his money. So if you look at Kyrie Irving, you said, man, we rode snake eyes because we didn't get what we've expected out of you. That's your fault, not Kyrie's fault, because Kyrie has done nothing but what he's always done, with the exception of the drama, because he's given none of the drama and all of the production. It's all the other things around Dallas that's a hot-ass mess.
Boom, mic drop. Okay, can't talk about Kyrie without talking about KD. Now, KD, who has, I don't think the Suns have lost when he plays. I don't think they've lost this year. They're perfect when he plays.
1-0.
Okay. KD had some comments to The Athletic, to Shams, and he said, I don't care about legacy. He said, I used to want to carve out a lane or space in this game for myself that people can remember, but it's become too much of a thing now. It just becomes too much of a focus on other people. What's he done? What's he done? Comparisons. Before, when we wasn't doing all this debating, I cared about it. I'm about to be in the same breath as these type guys. It was big. Nowadays, I truly, truly don't care. He doth protest too much. He said, I truly, truly don't care. I truly just want to go out there and produce, be the best that I could be, go home, hang with my family, that's it. Yeah, bro, I don't believe you need more people, and here's why. It's like, you could not be obsessed with a legacy. But of course you care, because that's what you're playing. That's what you're playing for. That's like, and maybe he's at a point where his legacy, he feels is secure, so as not to care as much as he used to. But I'm sorry, I have a hard time believing. It's like Kendall Roy saying this ain't got nothing to do with Logan Roy. I seriously don't believe you. I have a hard time believing that Kevin Durant does not care about legacy, because that's a huge part of what drives the great ones throughout history. They've all cared about legacy. And I'll say this last thing, Vinny. If you don't care about it now, you for damn sure will care about it when you're done, when what you've done in life echoes throughout eternity.
Well, I kind of believe him, and I'll bring it into, I got relationship analogies for days. So.
Oh, good. Come on, bring it on.
Y'all ever been in a a discussion, shall we say, with a significant other type. And for whatever reason, she's just not believing nothing you say. You can have diamonds in your hand, everything else. It does not matter. It's not that you've done anything wrong. It's just that she's not hearing you. And that comes to a point where you say, you know what? Forget it. I'm not defending myself anymore. You can say whatever it is that you think. I'm just telling you what it is, and I'm walking away from it. I think that's where Kevin Durant is as far as the legacy talk, because he feels like there is nothing that he can accomplish that will change the minds of the people who are talking all the negative stuff about him. He feels like it's a battle.
I don't care what y'all have
win.
to say. So basically, I don't care what y'all have to say when it comes to my legacy.
Listen.
Okay, that's a subtle difference. Okay, fair enough. Go ahead, Mike.
But I believe the bigger picture too. Clearly, he doesn't care what the media has to say about it. But I don't think he really cares about his recognition at this point in his career. Like, we all reach a point in our careers where things that used to matter, whatever they were, things that used to matter, don't matter as much anymore. So Kevin Durant's going to be 35 in September. He has accomplished a lot in his career. He has played for a lot of teams. He's seen a lot. Hey, look, don't dismiss Brooklyn. Don't dismiss the madness of Brooklyn and what that may have done to him, how that may have altered and shaped his current thinking. So maybe he did care 2 or 3 years ago, but now that he's beyond that situation, he doesn't. Hey, look, Mike, it's like that text I sent you a while ago that you never responded to.
Oh, yeah. Which one? But you don't care.
Kendrick Lamar. I do care, though. But I do care. Hey, Kevin, I do care. Damn it. I sent you a text. I expect some kind of response. But I sent you a text a while ago, a Kendrick Lamar quote. It said, look, I don't care about the recognition. How I'm perceived, that's God's decision, right? And so I think that's where Kevin Durant is right now.
Okay, so
I think there's a fine line. I think there's a fine line.
Yeah, go ahead, Vinny.
But I think we got to be careful whenever we talk about legacy. Legacy is what you leave behind. Reputation is what happens with you right now.
Where other people think of you. Yes.
And I think more so than anything else, the former players, what they think of Kevin Durant, his historical peers, I think that bothers him, that the ones that don't view him in that way are the loudest detractors and the ones that hold the loudest mics, whereas most of the ones that really rock with him don't have the biggest microphones, and he knows it's not necessarily a battle that he can win. Remember, he went to Golden State and thought that winning those championships was going to fulfill him, and then it didn't. So I do think it's a sliding scale with him of reputation, legacy, caring, not caring, and then being able to play basketball without all of the shrubbery of drama surrounding them too.
Right. Because I think he's conflating, because first of all, we're talking about a dude that's famously got burner accounts and responds and tweets and everything somebody say. He got rabbit ears, okay? So you gotta go tell me you don't care, because like your body of work suggests that you do, okay? So there is, hey, I'm not getting involved in what's being said on Inside the NBA or this talk show or that talk show, because I'm in the same breath with those guys that I used to want to be in the same breath with. But when you compete, and listen, I've never competed, but I'm sorry, like, if you just want to hoop, you can go to the YMCA and do that. If you just want to hoop, you can do that in the driveway. Like, he is competing for championships. Or if he just wanted to hoop, he could have stayed in Brooklyn and not cared. The fact that he wanted out and wanted a better situation, the fact that he went to Golden State, the fact that he's now going to Phoenix.
That's not fair, Mike. That's not fair.
No, I'm saying, it's not a criticism. I'm not being unfair because I'm not criticizing him. I'm saying when you compete for championships by definition are about legacy. That you are immortal when you hoist that Larry O'Brien trophy. It's why they all care about MVP. They all care. All of them care. Because it's what you leave behind, to Benny's point.
But how about, I want to hoop, but I just don't want it to be dysfunctional. That's why I went out of Brooklyn. I don't want out of Brooklyn because I'm thinking about a championship. But
okay.
You say if he just wanted to hoop, he could have just stayed in Brooklyn. No, because people are crazy.
Everybody else was gone.
I don't want to be around this crazy. But could it be and that too? Could it be possible that he wants to reach the highest point of his profession, or he just wants to get the most out of his talent and enjoy playing basketball? And the championship might come along with that. So if he goes to the NBA Finals, they lose. Is he saying, "Damn, my legacy"? I don't think so.
Maybe, but that would make
can
him
it be
different
both? I
than
think it
damn
can
near
be
every
both.
other great player to ever play, Vinny. Most great players, they may not be obsessed, they may not lose sleep over it, but they care about how they go down and how they measure in history because they're, wait for it, competitors, Vinny. That's part of being a competitor.
I think that's a huge part of it too, but far for me to say that there has been another basketball player whose legacy and reputation has been debated from opposite ends of the spectrum,
There
maybe
it
even
is.
unfairly as much
There it is.
as Kevin Durant. Not even LeBron James.
That part.
Because
that
was pretty linear. LeBron was pretty linear. He left Cleveland the first time. People got on him, and then they saw the vision later, right? He left Miami, went to Cleveland. People saw the vision later. And then everybody saw the Lakers move for what it was. That turnaround hasn't necessarily happened. The vindication for Kevin Durant hasn't necessarily happened. He's been criticized at every turn. Criticized for going to Golden State, even though nobody wants to live in Oklahoma City. Criticized for teaming with Kyrie Irving because he chose not to go to the dysfunctional New York Knicks. He can't, in his mind, he can't avoid it, so why fight it? All I'm going to do is try to go hoop and prove to these dudes that I'm playing with that I'm better than all of y'all. And objectively, Kevin Durant is one of the top 15 players to ever play this game, and it might be even a shorter list than that.
Yeah, that might be being conservative. No, I meant you couldn't avoid taking a gratuitous shot at Oklahoma City. That's what I meant when I said he can't avoid. I meant you. like there's strays. I'm gonna start calling you strays. Hey, nobody is safe.
Been there?
Everybody catching strays from Vincent Goodwill.
You ever been to OKC? You ever got? I know Vinny has. I'm saying Mike Smith. Mike Smith, you ever been to OKC?
Touche.
No,
I'm touche. I haven't. I haven't. So you're right. I haven't. Touche.
No, I was going to ask you to say something good about it. That's all. Just tell me something good about it. Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.